I'm here with Independent Black Media. Hello.
What's up? What's up, Effie of our DTS, DTES, if you would.
DTES.
What are we gonna do today? We're here to talk some smack. I'm a fake journalist, but I'm a real nigga. So we're here to talk about Ken Sims. Here to talk about Chip Wilson, the money behind Ken Sims. Here to talk about you, more importantly than them, because we don't care about fascists. We just identify them so that we may do what we must to them. So let's talk about our DTES. What is our Downtown Eastside?
Well, first of all, like the name is important. It's not the Downtown East Side, it's our Downtown East Side. So it's not a. Some people know the term NIMBY, not in my backyard. That's where people essentially don't want a problem in their backyard. They don't want it in their neighborhood. They don't want it as neighbors. Um, the downtown east side is a NIMBY problem. Our downtown east side is a YIMBY problem. Yes, in my backyard. It is our backyard. It's the center of our city. It's Main Street in Hastings is the middle of our city. It's not just a neighborhood that is down and out somewhere else. It's our downtown east side and it's our collective problem.
All right. Why is it important for you that people understand this?
Well, I grew like the downtown east side and the iteration that it is now has been going on for decades, and I'm getting older, so I've seen about 3 of those decades now. Um, oh, almost 4 actually. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm turning 39 tomorrow. So
Happy birthday.
thank you.
Pisces gang. My birthday is in a couple days.
Hey, nice. Um, but I grew up with the downtown east side being similar to what it is now. I moved to Vancouver when I was 11, so yeah, I've seen 3 decades. And my mom was a First Nations advocate, so we were down there all the time. Like her office was not far from Maine and Hastings. And so we grew up not knowing that we were that different than the people around there. Like, we'd walk down the street and my mom would be waving at people. It would take forever because someone wants to talk to her. It was, in a sense, our neighborhood, even though we lived in North Van, which was like even more polarizing because I went to a private school in North Van, and the kids that I was around were afraid of the downtown east side. So, like, when we got older and kids could drive, they would lock their doors when we got to Hastings. Or on the horrible side, the boys used to drive around Oppenheimer Park and throw pennies at sex workers. So that's how rich kids behave. I wasn't quite one. We were the charity case at the private school, so we didn't have money to have attitude like that. But I was also raised real right. You can do that with or without money, I think.
Most definitely. Um, Speaking of, yeah, like places like Oppenheimer Park. So you're saying like a big NIMBY, I guess, catchphrase or repeated nonsense that they say is, this never used to be like this, It's in the last year, the last 2 years, all these people have showed up out of, they're busting them in from out of town.
Yeah.
When the actual fact is they're busting people out of town. So, what do you think are some of the actual issues that are not being spoken about in public discourse when it comes to the downtown east side?
Well, a big one I posted about today, they tried it during the Olympics as well, just like giving people bus tickets and sending them on their merry way. I saw an interview with Ken Sims where the interviewer was suggesting that he like, bless him, but he was wondering like, why don't you just give them a bus ticket, give them a couple $100 and send them on their merry way. And now we have this leaked document from Ken Sims called the Downtown Eastside Plan, which is just so wrong and disappointing. It's hard to know where to start.
He's found a way to deport indigenous people.
Yeah.
From their land.
That's a really good way of putting it. It's deportation.
Like, it's deportation is madness.
Yeah. So he prefaced this by saying that most indigenous people want to be back on their land, but it's all their land, you know? Like,
yeah, it's like, yeah, the city on top of that.
I'm sorry, I'm having, it's not funny, it's horrific. I just like...
It's the black defense to laugh to keep from crying.
Yeah, yeah, thank you.
If anyone understands.
I'm like, please explain to me why I'm laughing right now. Yeah.
Because what else? You could cry, but...
Yeah. I think he really thinks he's doing people a favor. And moreover, he doesn't care what the outcome of that is, as long as people leave. Like, it's something that is being tied up in a bow for, you know, because it was... I don't think that document was meant to be confidential or so controversial, actually. I think they thought they were doing the right thing. And, well, not totally, because gentrification is the goal, right? As long as everyone gets out, then we can build what we want, and there's profit there.
I think it's important to remember that, like, they're psychopaths. So, like, in their head, manifest destiny, they are doing the best thing that they can think of. But the problem is the box that they're stuck in is this small.
Yeah.
They're looking through it like this at everything that's a problem, but they'll never look behind at themselves being the problem. Because, like, Ken Sims, I did a piece of art of Ken Sims in which he's Kermit. And it's nothing to do with what he looks like. It's just to do with the fact that he's a puppet. Like, he has influence, but he is influenced by the influential. Because he lives in what? He lives in the richest neighborhood, the richest gated community with Chip Wilson. Like, they're all...
Oh, he lives...
He's in Chip Wilson, Lululemon CEO or former founder. He's one of the biggest property owners and developers in Vancouver. So, I mean, who is in the anxious to gentrify?
It's so wild to me because I'm pretty sure, you know, and partly because I was at private school, but we had like an advertising block or branding or something. I don't know. We had some block in art where one of the, I'm pretty sure it was Chip, but one of the founders of Lululemon came into our class and like explained what he did. And it, at the time, it was just like, Lululemon was nothing at this time. This was like 1999 to 2003. So maybe say 2002, Lululemon had barely broken even, probably. And he was in there as this kind of genius. It's like he knew he was gonna make money. He probably comes from money, and then you just have this mindset of like, money will come to me. And it's somehow worked. Yoga is very profitable.
Yeah.
But
a lot of it is like they control advertising. Like there's a reason advertising is $1 billion industry. And even like, yeah, to further how nefarious these fools are, is not like, or not even, they're not fools. They're like devious. They're just psychopaths. But these fascists, they'll attack you from ways you don't even realize. In like, say Aaron Gunn. You get someone like Aaron Gunn, who you think, this dude's just a YouTuber. He's just blah blah blah. He comes out with a documentary. Oh, Vancouver is dying.
Oh,
And
I
it's
don't know about
before the
this.
ABC are coming in for the election, and it's right before all of this. And then you look at who's the money behind him, and I believe Chip Wilson is behind that. And it's just like, yeah, they're doing what the Victorian era British did, in that they're just creating their own version of the truth, and that's all they're gonna go by. Running out of recording time. But like, yeah, they run off the shifting goalpost, in that they're always gonna shift whatever you have to say to them.
Yeah.
They're gonna dodge you somehow and be like, if you say, hey, you're deporting indigenous people from their land, he's gonna just say, hey, you want indigenous people to stay on drugs and homeless in the downtown east side, giving them free drugs, and then, it's like the endless cycle, in that engaging with them is what they want, because
Yeah. But I just like when it comes to this, like I wish that people would use a bit of science, like a little bit of actual truth and fact, because you can feel NIMBY. NIMBY is a feeling, it's an emotion. You can feel that you're afraid to walk down those streets. You can feel that it's dirty. You can, you know, have all these emotions around it, but the facts are, I just I just saw that almost 450 people died in 2023 in the downtown east side. Now, it's not random acts of violence. It's not, you know, it's like the spin that Ken Sims is trying to put on the area is that it's dangerous, right? And like for me, for people who are down there, it's not dangerous. There are some dangers, but if you look at what the news reports have been lately, like there used to be no news about the downtown east side, but I just checked my Google alerts and I have things like Vancouver violence, Vancouver stabbing, gunshots. And half of my Google thing is about how an officer got stabbed in the leg. So, like, that paints a picture of crime because it's so many different news outlets. It's painting a picture of, okay, this is dangerous. What do we do when things are dangerous? We need cops. And ABC ran on getting 100 cops into the downtown east side. What he's done instead is gotten 200 cops on the downtown east side. And in the video today, you can see an auntie elder. She's saying there's cops everywhere. They're checking everyone all the time. Like, adding insult to injury, why don't you put these people in bloody side? Like, would you have to check someone in their living room? No. Like, most of the people are harming no one. There's beefs and there's, man, some kids stabbed a guy in Yaletown the other night. Is that the downtown east side? I bet it wasn't in the news as much. Right?
I think it's an important point you make. I'll see. Oh, wait, give me 2 seconds.
Yeah. My thing's still recording, by the way, so.
Mine is about to stop recording in 6 minutes.
Okay.
But we'll clip it and figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I got a really good book here. It's called Natives, Race and Class in the Ruins of Empire. And it's by a grime rapper who's also a teacher called
By
Akala.
a grime rapper? A book by a
Yeah,
grime
from London. And it's like, it's one of the best books I think I read in just like contextualizing my childhood growing up in South London. But he talks a lot about in here how when we were growing up in the 90s in South London, there was a big push on knife crime
Right.
amongst Black youth. And like, if even to this day, like if you watch something like Top Boy or you watch anything about some kind of grime London, they talk about knife crime and it's always the Black kids. But then he talks about how we didn't actually have the highest rates of violence amongst youth. It was actually working class white kids in northern factory towns. Once all the factories got shut down and they didn't have work, it was going off up there, but they just didn't report on it the same way because they were fear mongering in South London to drop the property rates and scare people out of there. And it worked. So, I mean, it's the playbook. You see it happen everywhere. It happens all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, even goes back to plantation society where the plantation owners would, it's all speculation. They're like, yeah, we might get this much money, but depending on the state of if there might be a rebellion, you might not.
Yeah.
So they're getting larger investments for whatever they're getting based on, like, they're going to find a way to manipulate any situation to squeeze as many pennies out of it as they can.
True facts. True.
Just like the Downtown Eastside.
Yeah. Because it's the thing is that these people are seeing it for what it is. Like I said, it's the center of the city. It's prime real estate. Gastown is right there. Chinatown's falling apart. It's gonna be next. Like all those amazing shops and like all that culture down there, that's
one fried chicken place owned by Black people.
Yeah, but I saw a thing today, you know, because I guess Ken Sim, he had some like blessings from Chinese business people that you know that we should gentrify the neighborhood, but then there's a big portion of people who don't feel the same way and don't think that people should be pushed out and, you know, feel that housing is better. It's just like,
why wouldn't you want somewhere to live in a housing crisis?
Yeah. And the issue with our media is that like people just want to talk to the mayor no matter what, so we're not really getting different sides of things. And who watches the news as it is, the traditional news? It's my mom, like it's boomers. My mom's not a horrible boomer, but she does count as a boomer.
On the topic of like people's participation in the political landscape, you guys had a city hall recently.
Yes.
That was with Kenneth himself.
We run up in the city halls. We did. Yeah, that was a beautiful day. Like, quite a lot of people came to the rally outside, and there was even like a little theater with a Trojan horse and a cop rolling out of it. That was brilliant. But there were about 100 people that spoke in that meeting. All different things. Like it's like a 6 million hour video, but it is available to see. I encourage people to like watch some of the testimonials from people who are really trying to stand up for it was over supportive housing. So the motion was to pause supportive housing in Vancouver, but cough cough the Downtown Eastside. Now,
and where can you watch this? It's on YouTube?
Yeah, you can watch all and any city hall meeting on YouTube. They put them up pretty fast, and you can watch them live as well. And like, I'd like to remind people that they can go and speak at the same way that they did when they came down that day. They can go and speak at City Hall whenever you like, whenever it doesn't have to be 100 people at a time, you know. But yeah, I I was about number 58, and I actually, like, my eyes are pretty bad right now, and so I got up to the podium and I put my phone down and I couldn't read it from where like where I was stood, and so I had to wing it, and like I snuck into a Ken Sims party. Oh,